Welcome. Today we are talking about paid advertising tools that we use here almost every day at Conversion Giant to help our clients succeed. None of these tools are sponsored. Some are paid, but most are free. So let's get into it. Again, these are the top tools that we turn to almost every day here at Conversion Giant to help get better results with paid advertising. Google Keyword Planner. So this is a legacy tool. It's been around for a long time. It's been through several different iterations. Some of the features that they had in the past, I liked more that they've taken away, but it's still probably the most reliable, best ways to do keyword research. So you can start with a website, you can start with specific keywords, you can put in competitors into the keyword planner and see if you're missing any opportunities. You'll get keyword cost estimates, traffic estimates, and if you look at specific date ranges, for instance, you can get an idea of how much a keyword is being searched for now versus then. So you'll know that if something's rising or declining, you'll know why, as well as those click costs associated with them. Keyword Planner is a tried and true tool. It's been around for a long time. And honestly, most of the other tools pull from Google's database anyways, so why not just go straight to the source? Google PageSpeed Insights tool. So fast page load times are a must. Fast landing pages, fast website. Generally speaking, the faster your website loads, the better off you'll be. What you'll find though, what you'll discover is that some pages on your website take longer to load than others, or maybe just generally speaking, your website isn't all that fast. What you can do is put your specific URL, your homepage URL, or even a specific page into Google's PageSpeed Insight tool, and it will actually provide you with recommendations about how to optimize those pages across both mobile and desktop devices. Now, why is that important? Well, it's rumored that it can negatively impact your quality score. So page load time is a published indicator in terms of your ability to rank organically, is improved when your page loads faster. And that's just based on Google's criteria for what they call a optimal landing page experience. So in order to improve that experience, you want to make sure that your landing pages are fast. Use the Page Insight Speed tool to figure out what's wrong, fix those things, and speed up your website, and potentially improve your quality score from your paid ads. Google Tag Assistant. So Google Tag Assistant is an extension. It's for Chrome and it's free. It's from Google, but it allows you to troubleshoot tracking problems. So everything these days relies on data, and the more reliable your data is, the more consistent the advertising platforms can be when they're optimizing against that data. So what you want to do is make sure that your tracking codes are implemented correctly and that the tags are firing, you don't have duplicate instances of code, or if you're doing something custom with your code where you're scripting and tailoring it to your specific platform or your CRM, your shopping cart, for instance, you want to make sure that those tags are firing correctly, and the Google Tag Assistant is an extension that will help you troubleshoot that. So when you see that clicks don't match up sessions or your revenue's way off, check Tag Assistant, install it in your browser, run it, and see if there are any errors with your tracking code, because like I said, the more reliable, the more accurate your data is, the more reliable the advertising platform is when it comes down to optimizing against that data. Google Analytics. All right, so this is the no-brainer of the bunch. You have to know what's happening after the click, and you have to kind of follow that all the way through the conversion. So Google Analytics is what we rely on heavily. We'll spend the same amount of time, if not more, in Google Analytics as we do on the front end, say Google Ads. Oftentimes we'll get caught up maybe in just looking at paid search as a channel in a vacuum and not be looking at everything else. And I find that is not what you really want to do, because with attribution, multi-click, multi-funnel stuff where people are clicking through from different channels and coming in from all different places, if you're just looking at Google by itself, that's not an ideal way to see how everything is working together. So we find that Google Analytics is where we spend a lot of our time. We can determine how relevant the traffic is, how high quality it is by looking at things like bounce rate, time spent on site, and there are so many other metrics that we can look at in analytics, but more importantly, understanding how paid media mixes with everything else, what percentage of your revenue or your sales or transactions comes from one channel versus the other, and what is contributing to one or the other. And you can look at all that data through assisted conversions, multi-funnel, attribution models, you name it, analytics is where you'll find those answers. All right, let's talk about spreadsheets. Google Sheets. We used to use Excel. We still sometimes do. It's probably way more robust, does way more advanced things than Google Sheets, but to be honest, Google Sheets integrates with the rest of our G Suite, which is now I believe called Google Workspace. Helps us easily transfer, share data with clients and our own colleagues. And for the most part, we'll do every little bit of thing that Excel will do. It just does it in a seamless fashion that integrates with our ecosystem in terms of our workplace. So we find Google Sheets, you have to have something to manage all of the data that you export from Google Ads and Analytics, and Google Sheets is the solution for us. Google Ads Auction Insights. So Google Ads is sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's a competition, it's an auction. So your competitors are basically, they dictate how much you pay per click, and then you can capture only so many clicks based on budget. The Auction Insights tool itself allows you to compare how you stack up against your competitors by looking at specific metrics. Things such as impression share, overlap rate, top of page bid rate, and position above rate. And these are all things that you can compare over time even to help you get a better sense of whether or not your competition has moved in, they're being more aggressive, or somebody has bowed out, or generally speaking, just how you're faring as it pertains to your ability to capture clicks and gain more market share through Google Ads. The Wayback Machine. Sometimes you have to take a step back in order to move forward, and sometimes new websites don't live up to the hype in terms of delivery, expectation, and performance. So what we often end up doing is looking back, checking the Internet Archive or the Wayback Machine for a version of the site that was previously in place prior to the new site launch. This allows us to sort of look back into the original site and see what was working better and see maybe what the new site is missing. So we can take aspects of it that were working well and make sure they get transferred over to the new site. We find this really useful for troubleshooting problems right after a new website launch, where, like I said, the hype is that the new site is always going to perform better, but we find that more often than not, that's not the case. The Facebook ad library. So let's get creative. And some of the best ways to do that is by looking at your competition to see what they're doing and maybe do something differently, or copy, beg, borrow, and steal the stuff that is working well. And what you can do with the Facebook ad library is look at anybody that's running or sponsoring posts on Facebook. And so when you're trying to craft and fine-tune your message, it's really important that you sort of carve out your unique selling position to help you stand out from what everybody else is doing. And the Facebook ad library really helps us fine-tune our messaging. SEMrush. Speaking of competition, SEMrush is a great way to spy or keep an eye on your competitors. It's also a great way to figure out how much somebody is spending, or another company or your competitors are spending on advertising every month. And the great thing about SEMrush, something that nobody else really has as far as I can tell, is they have a dedicated shopping ad section, or what was formerly called product listing ads, a PLA section. And more or less you can see what specific products your competitors are promoting in Google Shopping, which is super helpful. GoDataFeed, or GDF for short. So GoDataFeed is a feed host. If you are running shopping ads or have a product feed, you're going to submit it. You're either going to build a manual one or submit it to Merchant Center, or host it somewhere and it will be then fed through Merchant Center. Either way, you want to have something that's highly optimized, because oftentimes you're running Google Shopping ads based on an automated sort of bid strategy that relies on quality data in your feed. And so these days we look towards GoDataFeed to help us optimize the actual product feed, streamline the process, and improve the overall quality, which then yields better results from Google ad campaigns. Another great thing about GDF or GoDataFeed is that their system is really easy to use compared to some of the other feed solutions out there. Their service and support is top notch. They're always responsive, and we've just found that they are the best solution so far. All right, let's talk about reporting. Swydo. Swydo is a tool that we use to create reports for our clients that we can customize based on their needs. It integrates with all of the major advertising platforms. So we just pull in all the data into Swydo, and then we can create custom reports for all of our clients. There are a lot of other reporting solutions available that are either more granular, more flexible, can do all sorts of things. But we find that some of it is overkill, and Swydo really fits the bill between efficiency and delivering value. And with their ability to, and our ability to customize the reports and bring in specific metrics or arrange them and prioritize them in ways that the clients find most useful, and as managers we find the most valuable, that means everything. All right, so that's it. That's everything. Those are all the tools, or some of the tools anyways. I'm sure new ones will come up, but those are the tools that we kind of turn to almost every day here at Conversion Giant to manage paid search advertising campaigns. If you found this video helpful, useful, the least bit entertaining, hit that like button. Subscribe for more content in the future. We're doing weekly videos, if not more. So if you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.